Good morning, YouTube. How you guys doing today? Welcome to today's video. We are 4 days out from the Washington State Natural INBF competition. That thing, the big show that we have been prepping for. Super excited. And if you guys saw the last video, we are officially a pro natural bodybuilder in the OCB. The fun thing about natural bodybuilding is there's all these different federations, so you can collect pro cards like it's Infinity Stones. However, when it comes to bodybuilding specifically, probably the one that brings the most competition is the WNBF. So that's what this next show is, the INBF. I heard the last show there was like 4 people in bodybuilding that were pros in other federations, all going for, their pro card. So it's probably the hardest one. And at my competition also there's 5 bodybuilders, and then there was like 20 classic physique guys and 20 men's physique guys. So that one gets a lot of competition out for those categories. But also OCB is one of the top tier organizations, so I'm super stoked about it. But we'll see how I fare in the INBF. Game plan for today, I just woke up at 193.2 pounds, which is by far the lowest of prep. I've had a couple 195s which were low, and now 193 is super low. So we've depleted back down a little bit after the show. You guys saw a little bit of that carb up. I had 850 carbs, right around 850 carbs the day before the show. Carbed up nicely. On game day, it added an extra appointment in the day, but glad that that was done before hitting the stage. But with that being said, had all those carbs, and carbs have calories. So I had 4,500 calories that day, so we wanted to get back into a deficit, to compensate for those increases in calories for that look that day, as well as now what I am doing is we are depleting again. So macros are gonna get pretty ugly today. But we got a really fun video in store for you guys. So this is gonna be a fun video because I am actually fasted right now and I'm going to get a DEXA scan done. And I also got my blood test results back that I got done. I had blood drawn a couple days before the last competition, so sometime last week, and I got the results from that because I was interested in what is my testosterone gonna look like, as well as, anything else that would be interesting. And then DEXA scan, well, that's why I'm fasted right now. Tried to sleep in, but it didn't work too well. It's like 5:15 a.m. right now. Well, it's like 5:30, but I've been up for a little bit. But we are gonna get that done. So we'll go over my blood test. We're gonna go over this DEXA scan, and that's gonna be pretty exciting. And now I am 4 days out from the next show. So what are we doing in terms of food? I am depleting, and this is gonna be as ugly as it's gotten. Last week when we did depletion days, so we wanted low carb days, a little bit, probably low calories as well. We were like 2,400 calories or 2,500 calories. That was 150 carbs and like 90 fat to 65 protein. This week what we're doing for depletion, which is going to be, that was pretty much Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, today being Tuesday, is 80 fat, 80 carbs, and around 260 protein. I think that's around 2,000 calories. I don't have my calculator on me. So we're pushing now. And that's why we probably got that low weigh-in today as well. Because yesterday only had 80 carbs. Carbs are like sponges in the body. They hold a lot of that water. So not necessarily body fat that I lost overnight. And that's why I got that low weigh-in. But what we're doing, this depletion, is you want to deplete your body of carbs, of glycogen, so that when you bring the carbs up the day before, like 800 plus grams of carbs, your body is then more sensitive to the increase in carbs. So it's able to, absorb more glycogen, and then you can really load. You can really carb load pretty heavy, and that's how you look, your best on stage. So it's kind of a super compensation. So that's kind of the game plan. Really excited about the carb up coming later of the week, and also the beauty of today is, since I'm fasting into this DEXA scan, is I'm dealing with the hungry part of the day right now, because later I get one meal with carbs, and it's my Rice Krispies. Can't wait. So I'll be bringing my meals with me to the DEXA scan, and then probably eating after, as well as getting my pump session in right after, doing a little posing, and then we'll see what's in store for the day. Fun fact, back in my 2019 prep, a couple things, just so you gives a frame of reference. So I weighed in at 193 today. My heaviest in like the off season, the bulk, was like probably 228-ish, close to 230. So I'm down about 35 pounds. Back in 2019, I think, yeah, the height of my bulk was around the same weight. I got down to around 195 was a lot of my weigh-ins. My lowest days were 192 to 194, and I know I had one day where I weighed in at 189. And so now, 4 years later, I just had a 193 weigh-in, which is kind of in that range of that 192 to 194 that I weighed in 2019. So that's interesting. Hopefully I look different at the same weight. But also onto that is when I did my depletion days that season with Cliff Wilson, shout out to him, he's a great coach as well. My depletion days were 50 fat, 50 carbs, 250 protein, which was 1,650 calories. So we did those for a couple days as my depletion days before bringing those carbs up. So hitting that like more 80 fat-ish, we'll see what it plays out to. 80 fat, 80 carb, and like probably 260 protein today. So it's been worse. I've done this before, so we're gonna get it done. And then more carbs to come. All right, so just killed a little bit of time, and now we are at Princeton Radiology. It's a medical facility, so not gonna bring the big camera in there, so I'll see you guys after this DEXA scan. Boom, all right, so we are in the car, just got out, and we got the results right here. So what is my body fat? In 2019, was weighing about the same, and I think I was like 10.5 or 10.8 or something. And this time I am 9.5%. So very interesting, because you expect for, you know, bodybuilding, you want to be in that like 4 to 6 range. But for the DEXA, it's tough. It's very brutally honest. So 9.5%, which puts me in like the 2nd or 3rd percentile. So that's all super cool. And I guess I can just show you guys that. Boom. Yeah, so it says it right somewhere around these parts. So that's super cool, but it doesn't have my history on this one, which is kind of sad, but I think I have the other ones that have my history. But again, 2019, like 10.5, I think, from my memory, and this one 9.5. Also, if you guys do in-body scans, I like in-body scans. I was doing those every month in 2019 because it was in a research study. I was a case study participant, and I got that to 5.6%. So 5.6% body fat by in-body was equal to, like, it was like 10.5%. So if that is the same, if that relationship, then I guess this time I would be on an in-body something like 4.6% because I'm 1% less. So that would be interesting. But it's time to drink and actually eat. I already popped this open because I couldn't wait more. I told you guys that I thought that this is just like a good flavor, a very solid, very good flavor. Maybe not my favorite, but it may be my favorite. I'm obsessed. That Sour Punch, I love it. I usually always go for blue flavors. And now we got meal number 1, so we got breakfast. We got someone parking right next to me too, and they're probably gonna be like, what is this guy doing talking to a camera propped up on a screen in his car? But it is what it is. But I already pre-made my pudding. So we got 2 scoops of pudding, we got 30 grams of Rice Krispies. This is pretty much the main carbs that are not vegetables of the entire day. And then of course I have a lot of almonds, so that has some carbs in it too. So I'm gonna eat this, drink up. I got some pre-workout as well that I'm gonna be sipping on, so some pump product. And then we're gonna be getting over to the gym for a quick easy pump session. So I will see you guys there. Let's go. So we've made it to IR. It's like 9:30 a.m. You guys didn't see me just sit in the car for like 10 to 15 minutes, just like contemplating if I want to do this. Really feeling the deficit today, but we are in here. It's honestly a pump workout, so full body, a bunch of movements, but like 50% the weight I would use. So it should be pretty darn easy, but I mean, I'm just really feeling it. So we're gonna knock this out, and then I should be a responsible bodybuilder just posing after. But verdict's out on that one.
I'm gonna cock my nine, mother. I'm gonna cock my nine. I'm gonna cock my nine, mother. I'm gonna cock my nine. I'm gonna cock my nine.
So we are back from the gym, and now we have the second meal of the day, which is going to be this bountiful feast. So what we got is a little bit of steak, so lean steak, that's like 3 grams of fat per serving. Got salad, we got 14 grams of almonds. Man, I don't know if I can finish all this, but it is now 11. Usually I fast until like 12 or 1, so gonna be eating this, but still got 4 meals, which I'm actually pretty excited for. All right, so we are in the office, so just finished up that last meal. Man, I don't know, I'm pretty full after that one, but in all seriousness, that was a quick meal. But we are 2 meals into the day. I am doing like 6 meals a day. We have that early like Rice Krispie meal, and then it's like 5 steak, almonds, and salad meals. Last depletion, I had some rice cakes in that as well, but you know, we cut that out because we're keeping the carbs low. But what I want to talk about now is my testosterone and my body fat percentage. So this is going to be the realities of natural bodybuilding from a natural bodybuilding pro. You see that the taller trophy over there next to all the second places from 2019? Yeah. But I got a blood test done. So I did this in 2019, and I also got to do this pretty recent. So I'm glad that I have consistent data. So first one I want to tackle is going to be the DEXA. But before we get there, I did want to talk about the workout today. Didn't want to do it, felt super depleted, but we got it done. That was good, and I'm very, very, very proud of myself because I got a full session of posing done with like 20-second holds, and I'm really happy with how I'm looking. So just wanted to give, I'm happy about that. But now let's dive into this. So DEXA scans are interesting for me. And I'm curious as to other people if they've seen the same or if it's just like an individual thing. So my DEXA scan, when I was contest lean in 2019, striated glutes, I got pretty lean for my last show. I looked pretty darn good. So I want to put that at my final show. I did 4 shows in that season. 3 of them, I got second place to the overall winner. So I just missed pro cards in 3 shows. The final show in November, I did Amateur Worlds in the INBF, super competitive. In a class of 5 heavyweights, I got 3rd, but the dudes, they were really killers. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But that's a tough place to get your pro card. And my DEXA, the couple days before, I weighed 195 in kind of like days before, maybe 192 to 194. The DEXA scan said I was 10.8% body fat. Lines of my glutes, super lean, 10.8% according to DEXA. Most people would have said that I was 6% or something. And actually, I was doing it in body every month of the year. I was the case study subject for a research case study with Brad Schoenfeld at Lehman College. You can probably find it, and it's a case study of a natural bodybuilder going through prep. And we were doing an in-body scan, which is like a DEXA. Both of them are body composition analysis tools. In-bodies, it's like a $6,000 machine. Most people can pay $10. You stand on the scale, does, I think, electrical impulse kind of thing. Gives you your body fat percentage. DEXA, I don't even know. It's probably like a $100,000 machine. But you lay there and it scans you a couple times. But that one's more of like $100, $80 to $100 to get done. And that's the gold standard in research, the DEXA scan. So the in-body said I was 5.6% body fat. The same week that the DEXA said I was 10.8% body fat. Interesting. Now in 2023, which is this contest prep, I'm also still weighing in that range of that 195-ish, hit a 193 today actually. And the DEXA scan said I was 9.5% body fat. And now I have even more lines in my glutes, very lean, but it says 9.5%. When I think of 10%, I think like a pretty darn lean beach physique where you're like, oh, that person's pretty darn shredded. I don't think lines in your glutes and like being a depleted natural bodybuilder. That's to the point where you're getting on stage where you start looking worse in day to day. Like I would say I look worse in day to day right now, but I look good on stage because it shows everything. But that's kind of the objective to win. But that's interesting to me. So DEXA says 9.5%. Maybe if there's just that variance for me with like in-body versus DEXA, maybe I would be in the 4s or upper 4s, maybe lower 5s, maybe like 4.8% body fat on in-body. Because last time, 2019, it was 10.8% DEXA, 5.6 on in-body. This time, DEXA was 9.5. So maybe that would put me like 4.5 to, the lower 5s. I don't know. I don't have a DEXA in-body scan or access to one this time. Also, the DEXA scan said in my 4 years of training, I gained 2 pounds of muscle. Yeah, this natural journey is a tough one. But that was from year like 10 of training to now I'm in year 14. Now is the fun part that I want to get into. So bodybuilding competitively, especially as a natural, is not healthy. It is not a healthy thing to be doing. But any competitive endeavor in sport is typically not healthy. For fitness, I would say running around and jumping is good for general fitness. But if you play competitive basketball, you may tear your ACL, you're sprinting, you get tired, your injury risk goes higher, which if you get injured, your fitness goes down because fitness is the ability to reproduce and live a long life. Same thing with like football. You'll run around, but if you're going to be colliding with people and you're going to be having competitive, stuff, then injury risk goes up. So a lot of competitive things are fitness, but then on the competitive side, they start being quote unquote almost unhealthy. Natural bodybuilding is totally within that bound. So getting on stage is not the healthiest thing because it plummets your testosterone. I don't feel great, but it's the difficulty of it makes it worth it. Doing hard things, I believe, builds character, builds ability, but that's why I'm kind of doing it, and I like seeing, every 4 years, hey, have I, put in the work to get better, and I feel like it's something that's very individual. But now let's get into the point of this. Testosterone. People say it decreases, and when you get sufficiently stage lean, let's say according to InBody, sub 6% body fat, you get truly lean, lines in your glutes, true natural leanness for the stage. Your testosterone is said to be affected. How much do we have concrete data? I have 2 cycles of this because I just got my blood test back. So we're gonna go over 2019 first. So my contest prep in 2019, I did a baseline test of my testosterone, and I'll show you guys these numbers after. I wrote them all down because I have 5 blood tests that I got information from. So I had a baseline done January of 2019 before starting my 2019 9-month-long contest prep. My testosterone was 543 nanograms per deciliter before starting my cut. So that's kind of a good baseline. You know, it's within the natural range, tends to be, according to LabCorp, it's like 250 to 900 nanograms per deciliter. So I'm right like in the middle. When I got my next blood test done, like 3 or 4 days from my final show of that season where I got my leanest, my testosterone decreased to 197 nanograms per deciliter at the age of, I was like 25 at the time. And so that is very interesting. I could have got on, you know, you bring that over to a doctor and they will give you the TRT. They'll give you all the good extra vitamins. But that plummeted my testosterone outside of the natural reference range. So I think the word would be hypogonadal. The cool thing is though, and I think that I'm very happy I got this data, and I think we put it in the case study, was I did another blood test 1 month later, December 2019, after I allowed myself to do the recovery diet. Shout out to Team 3DMJ for coining that, where you gain 5 to 10% of your body weight back in a 4 to 8 week period. And I believe I gained 10 pounds in the first 30 days. Strategically, a lot of people gain like 30, 40 pounds in those first 30 days, just eating everything. And usually you just don't feel good about it. But you do need to gain some body fat back for health purposes. You only want to get there, do the job for the stage, and then get back to a healthy body fat percentage so you can start gaining muscle and being healthy again. So pre-show, I was 197. I did 1 month after gaining 10 pounds. So I got up to like 205, 206 pounds after being 195-ish. And my testosterone was 595. Back into the reference range, right about where I was at that baseline of 543. Testosterone also is something that moves. It's not like, oh, 545 is gonna be the permanent number. It does move a little bit. So 595 after doing the recovery diet. So 3DMJ, if that's not evidence to recovery diet, I don't know what is, so I hope that's helpful. So now we're gonna get into this. So I also got an additional baseline done in July 2021. No prep or anything, just general health one. I was 519 testosterone, nanograms per deciliter. So your boy normally is in the 500s, typically. Now I got my recent blood test done, so it was 76. And this was taken like 3 or 4 days out from the last week's show. So pretty darn lean, weighing around 195. I'd say, yeah, pretty darn lean. Yeah, 76 nanograms per deciliter. So that's very low testosterone. I got my free as well, which is 3.5. I forgot what the actual unit is for that. I had it pulled up over here, but we'll see when that pops up. There you go. Picograms per milliliter. Picogram per milliliter. Yeah, so 3.5 for whatever that's worth. But I will show you guys it'll be right here. That is the journey of my numbers that I found very interesting. So I hope that there's something that teaches us something there. So that's pre-show, but this is just to show you like what natural bodybuilding does when you get that level of leanness, which is required to win. But again, competitive sports are doing fitness things often to the point where they are not quote unquote healthy for those periods of time. But this is something where it's temporary, and the beauty of it is we have evidence here where, hey, you just get your body fat back to that healthy range, get out of that danger zone of the according to DEXA, sub 11% body fat. You get back out of that body fat range, and you can get back to that, normal functioning human, normal testosterone levels and all of that. This clip is running very long, but I hope that this is some interesting food for thought if you're interested in natural bodybuilding or any of the science behind it. That is what we got there. And also proof that I got that 76. Here's my actual blood test. So there it is. So I'm not making this stuff up, but found that super interesting. But we're gonna get on with the day. I'm gonna get some work done because it's a late start to the day. So we are closing up on like 4 o'clock and I need to get another meal in. So I'm combining the next 2 meals into one. So what do you think the next meal is? Yeah, you're right. I feel like Blue's Clues. It is more steak, salad, and almonds, but we got 50 grams of almonds now. We got like 8 ounces of steak, and then we got the double. There's a bigger bowl of salad. So super stoked about this. Also, forgot to fill you guys in on my fashion today. So we got Gudetama, the lazy egg. So you can see him just being lazy over there. Then also we got on the feet, we got Snorlax socks. So that is Snorlax. Why do you have Snorlax socks on and Gudetama? Well, that's because I feel like Snorlax and Gudetama. Like that's kind of where my energy levels are. So I really resonate with them right now, being a couple days out. But I'm going to eat this up. I'm excited about it. And then me and Nicole are going to get some steps in because I have been sitting a lot today and not getting much done. And we got to get to 10K steps. It is a beautiful day. So we're going to get these steps in. Look at it. All right, so it's about 6 o'clock, so we're gonna be having the final meal, and we just started watching Loki on Disney Plus and saw the first episode, and it looks like it's gonna be a good time. So me and Nicole are gonna keep on watching that, and it's good to have a thing to do, especially with the show coming up, because half the time you may just be sitting in a hotel room, hungry and waiting for what to do next. So excited for this. Let's go final meal, what we got here. So I am, again, combining 2 meals together, because a cheat code with prep and dieting is be busy. Today strategically we had 2 of our furnaces have some issues, so we had a guy come out and that was like a whole 3-hour ordeal. So I planned that so that I wouldn't feel the hunger. So prep cheat codes. But we got another double serving of salad, so big salad here. We're gonna use the Skinny Girl balsamic vinaigrette dressing. This stuff, goated, 5 calories per serving. Double serving of almonds, so we got 50 grams of almonds right there. Unsalted, full of flavor, and can't wait. And then we got the last of the lean steak that I have, and then we have a 96.4 ground beef patty. This has 0 seasoning on it because the next 2 days is going to be controlled sodium, so I just salt it based on how much sodium targets we have with Jared. And then we got melatonin, and we got some greens powder, some reds, and some creatine in there. I'll add water. Just trust that I will get that in after this closes up. But what are the macros for today? Also, I want to dial back on the whole testosterone conversation. That's also one of the reasons, as like a natural bodybuilder, why you don't want to prep every year, because if you're going to get your testosterone to such a low point, you're dieting for 26, 30 weeks even, like you're only getting half a year of productive training before you're deep into a prep again. So I'd say that's why you want to separate these by ideally 3 to 5 years, but at least 2 I think is good for naturals. So if you are considering competing, I would plan to spread out your seasons. That's my recommendation overall. But what are the final macros for today? So these are going to be 247 protein, 89 carbs, 73 grams of fat. So I think it's around 2,000 calories or so. And that is the final depletion day. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We should be bringing carbs up a little bit. We may not. But I'm going to eat this up, and that's going to be that. But we are 4 days out. Next video you guys are going to see is the carb up, which I'm super excited for. And then we hit the stage. Going to get all tanned, oiled up, and I can't wait for you guys to see it, especially the striated glutes. But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to watch Loki. Keep it flexible. I'm out.